Unconcealed Talk Show.
You ready? No, I got it.
You know what? People like realness. They can speak through when anybody is not being themselves. The Unconcealed Talk Show.
Use your platform wisely because it's going to be a reflection of who you are and those around you.
Y'all know this. It's unapologetic. I can only speak from my own experience. I can't speak from anybody else's.
This is the Unconcealed Talk Show.
They're going to remember how you came in and how you left. A lot of times that applies to regular life and business.
The Unconcealed Talk Show. From a real life perspective. And don't just be you. And either people won't like it or they won't. And even the people that don't like it are still going to check it out. Because I'm telling you, after people that follow me, they don't like my ass. But that's okay. Keep following me. You know.
I'm right here.
You're listening to one of New York's top syndicated shows, The Unconcealed Talk Show, featuring Mr. Nass and Diamond D.
Yes. Once again, welcome to the Unconcealed Talk Show. Yours truly, Mr. Nass and Diamond D. Of course, my partner, she took a little sabbatical right now, so I'm going to hold it down here, representing New Jersey, New York's one and only top syndicated podcast show, and we holding it down, and of course, we're syndicated to the Louisiana area, and of course, to Texas. Can't forget about my people down in Georgia. And today, guys, we're going to have a good time. We're going to jump into some conversation, just have a dialogue, and hopefully it can inspire you. So without no further ado, I want to bring on our guest. I want to bring on a very phenomenal woman, a woman who's about empowerment and about making change, not just talking about it, coaching, a woman that's also a part of it. She lives what she talks about. So without no further ado, we're going to bring on the one and only Miss Coach-Kiwan Fitch-Webster. Welcome, Miss Fitch, Miss Webster, Kawan, Coach K. What do you want me to call you for the people?
Call me Kawan. Coach K is also fine. It's nice to be here with you. Very, very
Awesome. You know, I'm going to just give a little tidbit about you, and I would love for you to elaborate for our listeners a little bit more about Coach K. Miss Coach K, she's an entrepreneur, a published author, co-author of 7 books, a motivational speaker, producer, playwright, mentor, and of course, I'm sure, a strong wife and a strong mother. And I'm pretty sure there's much more that I can even go on about. But I don't want to I want to kind of turn it over to Coach K, and I want her to kind of explain a little bit more about Coach K and what she's about, what she's doing, so our listeners can get connected as we go into this conversation. Coach K, you want to kind of let our listeners know a little bit more about you? Maybe something I didn't touch on, maybe something they can, kind of encompass.
Well, I have been doing this work for over 20 years. I stumbled into it. I was a student in college, and being told no led me down a road that has become my life's work. I was looking for some assistance with childcare for my then 3-year-old, and they told me that I could not get assistance because I was going to school part-time. And at that time, I was a readmit, so going part-time was not my choice, but it was the directive of the university, what they called the community work program. And that community work program that I found was a group home with kids 6 to 12 years old. And it changed the whole trajectory of my career, my path. I worked that as a community work program until it became a paid job, and I used it as my internship and co-op, and I got all kind of credits and all kinds of stuff using that experience that had they not tried to turn me away without finding a solution, I would have just been on a different path. But that child that was 3 then, next year he'll be 30. So wow. I've been on this of impacting lives in some way or another for quite a while.
Wow. Now, when you had that change, where was you at? I mean, now, I don't want to kind of disclose it yet, but I'm pretty sure your journey started, from my understanding, did the journey start from Jersey? Because I know You're now
Yes.
in Louisiana. I mean, where did that journey start from? Is that where it started from?
Started in Jersey. That was Jersey City, New Jersey, over on Newkirk Street in the resource building across from welfare.
That's I had to drop a bomb on the Jersey right here. So
when I go home next month, I'm going to take a picture of me in front of that building if it's still there, because that was the start of my story. Thank you so much, Nas, for giving me that revelation. To definitely go back and visit that place that started it all. I remember sitting there not moving, like, well, y'all going to have to figure out something because I'm supposed to start back class and this 3-year-old needs to go back to daycare. So we got to figure out what we're going to do. And it was like many different moments in my life where I was literally just sitting there in a fog, a haze, like, okay, so what are we going to do? And a lot of the women that I've come in contact with over the years, they get to those impasses and they either do nothing or they accept what is kind of given to them without any kind of fight. And I just try to make sure that I'm a testimony to, if you just be still. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's what you do. And I didn't go off. I didn't, they had the supervisor come talk to me. And even after she spoke to me, she walked away, said what she needed to say, and kept it moving. And I still sat there. And this poor worker didn't know what to do. Oh, yeah. The poor worker didn't know what to do. And I remember just as clear as day, another worker who obviously had been listening, he walked around where I was and walked on the other side to where the worker who was sitting in front of me, and she said, well, she tells her she can do a CWEP. And I remember not knowing what that was, but I was sitting there going, well, yeah, I'll do what she said. And it was just as clear as day. And the funny thing, Nas, to this day, currently and back in Jersey, I have run CWEP programs. I've created community work experiences for other women in the last year.
That is what I'm talking about. Now, honestly, my apologies. I was trying to tie you in with Louisiana. My understanding you're in South Carolina. I want to make sure I give my respect to South Carolina.
I am connected to Louisiana. Reverse.
I know. I want to make sure you give respect to your home, to where you at now. You're in the hometown. South Carolina. Salute for listening, of course.
I'm a Jersey chick that happens to reside in South Carolina. I came here when I closed my program in Jersey. I had that window of opportunity, and I remember saying to my ladies, I can't teach you to do what I won't do for myself. And it was my eldest son was just having so many issues with, I'm going to say community, the street. That's real. That's honest. And I did not want my younger two to have to deal with the things that they had, my eldest had to deal with. And we were just literally in this window where Brandon was getting ready to graduate from high school, and my little guys were in, I think, pre-K and kindergarten or something to that. And it was just like, okay, so if you go now, you won't be stuck. And I did. When I moved to Columbia, South Carolina, I had one blood relative, and I just grew from there. This August will be 11 years. Okay.
Now let me ask you. First of all, salute to you in making that move, because a lot of times, we get so comfortable with where we're living at or what we're doing in life, and we are afraid as individuals to kind of come out of our comfort zone to find something better, not knowing if the grass is actually greener on the other side. But you made that move, and apparently it has really shown a great success and a sense, I guess I would have to say, happiness and peace for you and your family. Is that safely to assume? Well, that's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. I want to make sure the listeners understand that, you opening the show and saying, recognize where you came from and how it started in the journey, and the sacrifice that you did for yourself and the family is phenomenal. I want to kind of segue that right into looking at my notes here for you. You're the CEO of Empowerment Corp. Can you tell our listeners about empowerment? I know it's a passion of yours. Can you, elaborate more on empowerment?
Well, Empowerment Corp is actually the first company that I created, and it really was a way to speak to what I do, whether it be empowering women through my book, through my speaking, through my live stage production, because I've done some shows. I've taken some of my books and created plays, basically, monologue shows. The goal was just to basically live out loud, bring the words to life. Empowerment. You have to get people where they're at. So everybody's not going to pick up a book, but they may come to a show. Everybody may not pick up a book or come to a show, but if you're at an event speaking, they may connect with you that way. So I do a little bit of everything in that regard.
I see.
And that's, we did some shows down in Louisiana. We did New Orleans as well as Baton Rouge through Simone and Rebirth. And I think it was Phoenix or something like that back in the day. Back in 2013, I first came to Louisiana. So, pretty awesome way to get the word out about supporting women. Welfare is the beginning, not the end. And moving beyond that. And also mainly single moms and moms who are parenting singly in order to be able to live their best life, but also to make sure that they are doing the best for themselves as well as their children.
Right. I mean, you're doing a lot. Now, you did talk about the shows. Now, you're going to have to elaborate now. For those who's listening, you're an author, you're a playwright. Now, the shows that you produce, is it on like live stage, actual scripted plays?
They're plays. I have some DVDs that we produced back. I have not done a production, I think, since 2015. The last production, and that was on mental health. And it was. We did not back then think about ways of reproducing it. I did do a DVD. We did film it, at least professionally. And great that you're mentioning this, because I need to figure out how to make it available for people to be able to purchase it and view it, that kind of thing. It's a great experience. But all of my books, you can either, you can Google me and find them on Amazon and that kind of thing, and all that type of stuff. But for the most part,
we're definitely promoting that.
Rebranding. So I'm excited about this year and all the amazing newness that I have coming out, just trying to level up a little bit.
Oh, well, I mean, we definitely support that. We're going to be pushing all of that, because before you leave, you're definitely going to have to share some information, contact information, and whatever we can do from Rebirth and Shadow Worlds. We definitely want to support you on that. Now, I know you do so many things as a woman. It's like, let's talk about Coach K. Now, Coach K. What is Coach K? What does Coach K bring? Like, if say I'm a person looking, or say I have my adult daughters. Hey, listen, I need you to maybe listen to this woman here. I want you to do that, empowerment. What is Coach K? What can I get from Coach K as a client? As a client,
well, there's twofold. So Coach K has, in all her years in working, especially with women, I created a curriculum, and it's called Journey Towards Purpose. Journey Towards Purpose is a curriculum that I use to empower, impact, and educate women, specifically about themselves, in order for them to be able to find their purpose and get on the journey of themselves, to themselves, and who they are supposed to be in this world. So with the curriculum, it's based on 5 principles: passion, purpose, mentorship, work. So with the curriculum, I have it available where if someone wanted to just kind of download it and purchase it and do some self-directed work, that's fine. You can do it in one of our groups, which is a 6-week group that meets once a week, virtually or in person, depending on where you are, and where I have a coach. And then I also, in terms of working directly with women in transition, and I say most women are in transition from one thing or one situation to another, but we also have a coaching program for servant leaders who want to lead better, and I offer Journey Towards Purpose as a tool that they may be able to purchase and be a part of a whole tribe of other servant leaders. So Journey Towards Purpose is the platform for coaching. It gives people an opportunity to have a tool to work with others, and it also gives the people that we are called to serve. It's one thing when you're coaching and you're just kind of, helping out just because you have a degree in counseling or so on, but this gives them something and you something to work from. Every teacher has a textbook. Every teacher has a workbook or something, some supplemental materials. Every pastor has some things besides the Bible that they're using to work with the people that God called them to serve. And so Journey Towards Purpose is that. And coaches don't play the game. Coaches are on the sideline giving you what you need to live your life and do what you need to do. We're not the ones out here doing it for you. So that's why coaching is so, so important. Sometimes you just need some direction. You just need somebody to help you to adjust so that you can make that shot and get that touchdown and do things a little bit differently in order to be able to move to your next. And so that's what Coach K does. So I either working directly with the woman who is taking the class as the program for herself, or someone who is taking the class as a way to help other people as well. So that's the two parts.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is great. That is great. Now, I mean, I know you help a lot of women. What are some of the women that you have to coach or has to help or provide counseling for? What kind of women? I mean, I'm reading through my notes and I'm just blown away by what don't you do? What don't you
my
do?
Mom, I have 3 sons. I have 2 grandsons and 2 granddaughters, a beautiful daughter-in-law. I do a lot. I'm running a transitional home for women. My favorite quote that everybody tells me that I say to them, and I'm working on another book. And my book coach, he said, get some quotes from people about things you say. And I swear 3 or 4 people out of the 10 I asked said the same quote. And I tell them all the time, I will push you. Oh, my God, I will push you. But I will not pull you. It's different.
Ooh. You got to say that again. Let me write that down my notes now. I'm sorry, Coach. What was that again?
I will push you, but I will not pull you. See, pushing means that I'm in the back. Pushing means that you are leading and you are going in the direction that you want to go. So if you want to go over there, I'm with you. I'm right behind you. I got you. But if you want to go over here, we're going to change directions. All right, we do it. We good. But if I begin to pull, that means I am in front leading you, and that is not how it should be in your life. You have to be in the seat. You have to be the one leading where you would like to.
Ooh, I like that. You're giving that tough love, but at the same time, you're like, listen, you want to go the right way, I'm here with you. You're going the negative way, that's your choice. I love that. I love that.
But you need to know that I'm still there, even if I take my hands off you. I mean, I tell people all the time, my ladies in here, I tell them, I love you ladies, absolutely, no problem. But guess what? I will love you no less when I have to put you out.
I see you. Now, for a man, I'm listening to a powerful woman talk. From my understanding, I know you deal with so many women in transition. My understanding, you is your passion is something that you deal with a lot of domestic violence as far as what our women go through. Is that true? I mean, how do you deal with that? I mean, I'm not trying to get personal as far as are you a victim of it? It's up to you. You want to talk about it or not. But I know that what you do especially with women as victims of domestic violence, can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Absolutely. I'll tell you this now. Regardless of the issue, whether it's a woman who was assaulted or a victim of domestic violence in many different forms of domestic violence, whether it be, I'm going to close my door. So it really, my goal is when we feel good about ourselves, we do not allow other people to mistreat us. So regardless of whether or not they are your mate, your parent, your child, your sibling. We don't allow people to mistreat us when we feel good about ourselves, and we love ourselves, and we are, in as much admiration of ourselves as we are for other people. So my goal with domestic violence, and as well as other many different issues, especially traumas that people face, in particular women, is I need you to get to where you love you. Because regardless of what the situation is, the goal is that you treat yourself better. And when we treat ourselves better, we don't allow other people to mistreat us. So when I didn't feel like I valued myself, when I did not feel that I was worthy of anything more, I took up with a man who was no good, who didn't love himself, who ended up going to jail. A couple of months started dating, and I stayed with him and married him in prison. And then he comes home and was the same abusive, nasty person that he was throughout the whole 4 years that he was away. Knocked me up with 2 babies, and then he was gone. And
wow.
Yeah. All of those things, in my mind, I justified my behavior. I was in college, and I was like, oh, this is the best dating you could possibly do. I only have to see him when I want to see him. I don't have to go up there. I don't have to. And I did all of that because I didn't think I could do any better. I didn't think my personal self-esteem, my ability to truly love me and be okay with who I was, and actually took the time to learn who I was, did not happen until after that breakup, after I had finally had enough. And it continued on until I was ready to stop it, because, women who don't feel good about themselves, they can move from one relationship to another, and continue to have the same maltreatment because we ourselves. Many women, I was with this one and this happened, I was with this one and this happened, and there's a common denominator in all these relationships. And the biggest thing is when you feel good about you, when you have a self-esteem that is all about you, or when you say self-esteem,
exactly.
You value you don't allow people to mistreat you. You would look at the red flags and say, that goes against the principles that I have for myself and how I want to be treated. I'm out of here. We would not be all worried about, how they're going to feel and I can't leave and all that stuff. When we feel like we can't, we don't. But when I value me, it's not about whether I can't leave. I'm going to figure out how to make this thing happen, because there's 2 people in this situation, and I'm the most important. And when we feel this way about ourselves.
No, I'm sorry. I'm feeling it. I'm writing notes. I'm feeling it.
I appreciate it.
Definitely. Let me ask you. You brought about something really interesting. When you have women that's in these ongoing, similar type relationships, and they're not loving themselves, why hear this? I see it all the time. You find women or just people that keeps getting involved with the same type of person with the same characteristics, but different people. I mean, we understand they're not really loving themselves. We get that. But what is it they're doing in their choices or selection? Is it has to do with loving themselves or picking the same type of men?
Absolutely. It's not even we like what we like. Some of us like a thug. Some of us like them light skinned with tattoos, and a certain deal. We like what we like, and there's nothing at all wrong with that. And I teach young people, especially girls, you can like what you like, and I teach the boys that too, because I have to empower my boys. It's absolutely okay to like what you like. Some people just like people with a little bit of edge about them. I don't want no punk. All of that. I get that. But regardless of what you like in a person, in that personality, there's a line between liking what I like and allowing someone to mistreat me. That's totally different. You can have an edge about you and not be abusive. You can have all those other characteristics of the alpha male or whatever it is that is attractive to that person. That you're attracted to that person. All of that can be fine, but why does that person have to be to cross the line to abuse? Where you are questioning yourself and who you are and who God created you to be. That's not okay. So it's the difference between liking what you like and wanting to be with whom you want to be with and how you want to be with. It's a hard thing to reconcile in your brain that the person who says that they love me abuse me. That's hard to really put my brain around, because they say they love me, and if this is supposed to be love, I don't like it, I don't feel good, but I want to be loved. I want to be in a relationship. I want this so bad that I will allow this to happen to me. My goal, my role as your coach is to get you to where you love you more, you value you more. You understand that there's more to what God has for you than this right here. And you can't get there if you don't believe it. And you cannot get there unless you want to be there.
That's right. I love that. That's something our listeners need to hear. Young and old, they need to hear this and understand that. Now, you've done a lot. We talked about the author. We talked about the business, the mother, and things you've gone through. Have you ever took the time to just share about in the roses and the rewards and stuff that you do? Do you take the time to reward yourself and acknowledge you? Because you're a phenomenal woman. You're phenomenal what you're doing. You do that?
I did. I just turned 49 April 4th, and I planned for myself my very own birthday weekend. And I did a whole theme. I worked on my rebranding. I did a photo shoot of myself. I used the makeup artist and the photographer that I had been stalking forever. It was a huge financial. I invested in myself. I gave myself several parties.
Nice.
My birthday act. So I rounded out the whole weekend with a egg hunt and a whole a field day with my family, my sons and grandchildren. It was the best, from egg relays to the bouncy house. We had an absolute family ball. I went ATV riding a couple days after that. This month I am, she turned 49, and that was my theme. She's 49, and I have just totally gotten to the place where, in teaching other women to love themselves and value who they are in God, I have to learn how to do that myself. And this month I am working really hard on my business and my brand as much as I am working on my personal happiness and desires. My work is my life. And I impacting others and creating leaders and pushing people to lead and raising up leaders is truly important to me. My legacy is all about education and getting people in position for themselves in order for them to do better for the community and so on. So in focusing on that, that's what brings me joy. Focusing on my boys and no longer sacrifice desires for other people's desires. So it's a whole new season for Kiwan. And I'm just truly excited about the revelation. I'm excited about all that is to come. I'm embracing who I am in this industry of coaching and consulting. And I'm walking in, and I decided in 2020, I said, I am no longer going to lessen myself and not go after and do the things that I want to do in business or in ministry and so on, because I feel like, somebody's going to say you're doing too much, or it doesn't kind of go with, maybe what you're doing. Man, listen, I don't care. If God gave it to me, I'm going after it. If he said I can do it, and it comes together, I'm going to do it. You give me the funds, the resources, and the people to do it, I'm going to do it. And so every piece of everything that I mean, ideas that I've given to other people that they didn't do anything with, I'm doing it. I've done it. I'm just at the place where if it's about service to God's people, then what somebody else says and does is no longer relevant to me.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. See, I wanted to I had a purpose why I brought that up, because you know what? Listening to you and hearing, and I'm hoping our listeners get that part, what you're saying about loving yourself. And, you know, you're the type of person who's going to walk the walk and talk the talk. If you're going to love yourself, take the time to, understand, recognize what you're going through, recognize the journey. And I'm kind of spinning it back when I say recognize that journey. You said, I started out in Jersey. That's where I started. That gave me that motivation. It clicked. Whether it was good or bad, I had to make these decisions. And when you recognize that you made action on it, and here it is now, you got a beautiful family, you got a thriving business, you're continuing to make things happen, and you're reaping the rewards. You're owning your own greatness. And I'm learning more just listening to you. And I would love, and I know Simone, would the same thing. We would love to continue to work with you, promote the business, and maybe get you a part, maybe as our on-air specialist on coaching, and and I would love that you have a blog on our website too. Anything to promote the brand, because I think what you bring into the table is essential and needed, especially now. For people that need that, those who are spiritual minded, those who are not spiritual minded. Sometimes people just need, like you said, just to know that someone's there to help direct you, just help you. And I think what you bring to the table is great. So we're at this point now. I have to unfortunately start to break it down. Can you tell our listeners how can they get in contact with you, contact information, and any other future projects you have coming up?
Absolutely. Well, the easiest and quickest way to find me is Facebook. I know that my audience is on Facebook. My audience is on a little bit on Instagram, but for the most part, they are on Facebook. So if you are looking for a coach, you're looking for a program, if you're looking for some assistance with pushing your mission and vision that God gave you, I certainly can help with that. At j2pglobalinstitute.com. J2P as in Journey Towards Purpose, globalinstitute.com. You can find me, our J2P Global Institute has a Facebook page. We are about to, we're rebranding and relaunching my website, and it will be sheiscoachk.com, sheiscoachk.com. And so when I will let you guys know when that is live, and we'll be doing some, of course, we're doing some marketing around that, and it'll lead to the membership site. Currently, as far as coaching is concerned, I think we finally crossed 50. I think I have 52 purpose coaches that I've certified through my program in a variety of different states, from Florida, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, London, England, and Tennessee, Alabama. So we're always looking for servant leaders who are wanting to have a curriculum-based approach to their programs and so on that they're offering. Our program is, we're running a special right now where I believe it's $600 instead of $700. If they want to take that class to become certified and become a part of the Journey Towards Purpose family, and so we'll connect. There's a phone number, 803-609-3408. I gave you my email. I gave you the new website. But you can find us on Facebook. Look up Journey Towards Purpose, or you can look up Kiwan Fitch, Kiwan Webster, Webster. But you can find me if you want to find me.
There you go, exactly. And we're going to support. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give a big salute and a round of applause to the one and only Miss Lovely Kiwan Fitch-Webster for coming on the show. We really appreciate you, definitely. And definitely, we will be talking behind the scenes, and we will be getting connected in future projects. You know, whatever we can do, support with what you're doing, because we're all about supportive network and empowerment. You know, that's what it is at this point. So that's what we are part in, and I am honored to have the time to just as a man, a black man, just taking the time and chop it up with you, and it really means a lot. And of course, Diamond, I wish she was here, and I'm pretty sure she'd be like, she'll listen to the show like, oh my God, I missed a great one, because she would have, she'd have had a lot of questions as a black woman as well. But again, thank you so much. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Ms. Kiwan, Coach K. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we had a phenomenal time just sitting there, just talking with, Coach K, Kiwan Fitch-Webster, phenomenal woman. That's out here making things happen, just, living the life and projecting life through her words and empowerment. We say that we try to bring people on that can empower you. We try to bring people on that's making actions in this life. I want to say thank you, say thank you to Simone, the CEO of Rebirth PR Media and Podcast. Couldn't do this without her. Big salute to my partner, Diamond D. She's taking a sabbatical, but, hopefully she'll be back. And yours truly, Mr. Nas. And got to salute all the followers in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, PA. Can't forget about my Georgia people, Texas, Louisiana. I feel you for supporting me in California and those overseas. We want to say thank you. And to my parting words, I want to leave with you. No matter what you do in life, understand, recognize where you started from, recognize the challenges you go through, understand and see the vision that's in your future. This is all a part of your testimony. Embrace your testimony, embrace your greatness. And again, we want to say thank you for listening to the Unconcealed Talk Show. Yours truly, Mr. Nas. And look out for the upcoming Unconcealed Live with yours truly. And again, we are blessed and honored. And have a blessed day. Own your greatness. Salute.
You're listening to one of New York's top syndicated shows, the Unconcealed Talk Show, featuring Mr. Nas and Diamond D.